Well, I think that might be the only win we've seen Order achieve in some time. And it happens to be in a flashbang game. We love it. Absolutely love it. Speaking of loving things, Dev with a mouthful, he's just finished.
Don't mind me, mate. I've still got more to go. I want to eat this biscuit as soon as we get on camera.
Finish the bicky. That looks like a bicky my grandma gives me, mate. What is going on there? What is with your choice of mid-game snack?
Cranberry and pumpkin seed biscuit.
And it's so loud.
S-tier biscuit right here.
Of
you really
everything you could eat,
Yeah,
like
mate, so good.
that's like smashing plates against walls. I don't know what you're doing there, but anyway, we've got an absolute banger in store right now. It's going to be Bliss taking on Chiefs. This is one that we wait for all season long, and now we get it in Playday 3. Vast, how are we feeling heading into this? Could Chiefs possibly lose that kind of claim that they've got over Bliss?
I definitely could see them lose to Bliss. I mean, in the BO1 last season, it was a pretty close game on Coastline. I think the BO1 definitely favors Bliss here. The kind of history between these two teams, Chiefs haven't lost to Bliss though. So from my experience playing, Bliss are very aggressive and good at it. But I think as the game progresses, Chiefs are like really good at picking up tendencies and kind of adapting from it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for this. It's kind of weird sitting back and watching this, not playing in it. But yeah, I'm just kind of getting a lot of flashbacks from the kind of playoffs game when we versed Bliss.
Would you say that this is one of your favourite matchups, Vast, or I should say was?
Yeah, it's probably my second. I think the Knights matchup was just the best, but this definitely came in a close second. They're, a good team. They're really aggressive. I like their balance between aggression and kind of method as well. So they're definitely not a team to underestimate. We never underestimated them. But we, definitely try to play with no fear against them.
Looks like Worthy's added an addition of a couch in there, Dev.
Like that. I mean, he can take a snooze. So if he gets a couple kills, he can probably just go take a snooze. But I mean, the big question mark for me with Chiefs, right, and the big curiosity I have, obviously we've seen some weaknesses. They lost just last night against Wildcard in Apex South, quite a significant loss at that. But, how is Ethan really onboarding? How is he really coming into this team? And Vast, I'd love to pick your brain a little bit again. I feel like when we got the Chiefs, we may as well chat to you. It's like, what do you think Ethan is bringing to the table? How do you think it's changing the dynamic of this team? And what do you think of the hiccups that we're clearly seeing in some of the results these guys are having?
Yeah, Dev, I don't think that the dynamic of the team has changed much. I think me and Ethan are pretty similar. Like, we have pretty similar trades. He's, he has kind of a bit of everything. He has the leadership roles. He's very flexible. He can play, quite a diverse range of ops. And, he's a really consistent fragger. So I think me and him are similar, but I think he, I definitely will admit he, is a lot better at...
A bit sharper?
A bit sharper, a bit more consistent than myself. But yeah, I think he's just slotted in perfectly with his team. I mean, there's already, a lot of synergy that before he joined, we used to play ranked with him. Me and God Legion and Digital and Ethan would always play a lot of ranked together back in the day. So we're pretty good mates. So there's already, a bit of synergy there. There's definitely going to be growing pains. He hasn't played the game for a year. Things will change. The map pool will change for the team. But I think, yeah, he's definitely slotted really well.
It's almost, I mean, from the outside, obviously we don't know what it's like inside, but it has seemed somewhat seamless. And I guess that's what happens when you swap an alpha out for a beta or vice versa.
A beta plus, I think. What is it? What was I? I got B plus on the OCN tier list.
Oh, God. But no, it is incredible to see. And this roster here, I feel like we talk about it so often. Hang on, did I just see... Did we get a Spruce photo? Yeah,
we do. Look at the stars.
He looks like a serial killer.
You can't say that, mate. I love Spruce. I mean, it's so weird seeing Spruce with like a serious expression, because if you've ever met the guy, he has the biggest smile. He is the biggest joker. Back in the old days when we had him on the interviews, I mean, our production team, when we saw this photo, he's like, is that Spruce from back in the day? Mate, we miss him on the interviews. But I mean, this team at this point in OC needs no introduction. 2021 has been the year of Bliss. After facing relegations end of 2020, they stormed through those, and out of the gate, stage 1, stage 2, they've made a name for themselves despite not being an APAC South. They've really taken it to these APAC South teams, and honestly, aside from Chiefs, have been somewhat uncontested. This team is just so good.
Bust, what's your take on how they've performed so far in stage 3? I think we've spoken to you enough about what we saw from them in previous stages, but specifically, we've only seen them play what we would consider to be two of the bottom teams in rhythm. Well, I mean, I suppose we throw order in that conversation now, but they haven't played them yet. So the fact that they've played Rhythm and Roffle and they've had 2 incredibly close games, is there something to read into this?
I don't know if there's anything to read into it just yet. Yeah. I mean, this team, they made a few roster changes. Picking up Jigsaw, I think, was a really big stepping stone for this team. It seemed to just dramatically improve them, and not only improve them in fragging, but it seemed like things were clicking a lot more for them. Their synergy looks great. But yeah, I don't know really what else to say.
I mean, they're a team of fraggers, right? That's kind of what we know them to be. They're a team of really young talent who have made a name for themselves. Your guys like Repix and Jigsaw, as you mentioned, picking up from LFO. But at the same time, they've got Father Todrick on the back line, and he's, you played with him for quite some time, Vars.
I did. Ex-teammates.
Got quite a bit of experience of his own. And I mean, I was playing ranked with Oda one night, and he was like, oh, Todd's messaging me. He wants me to come dry run. This is 1 a.m. The work ethic, the work ethic is serious from these guys. They just don't stop.
Definitely.
Now I'll give it to the floor here. Anyone got some predictions in terms of our map, Dev?
Oh,
I know.
Oh, the map. I know. I was going to predict a result for the game. I was going to say Bliss 7-0. This Chiefs team's terrible. So
get off.
I'm not gonna look silly by guessing the map. So I'll let you just roll it.
I don't know if we've got it, to be
honest.
Well,
it might.
If we got it, we can roll it. But there we go. Villa, yeah. Sorry, I don't know why my brain looked at Villa for a good 3 seconds and it just didn't register. But
not a map Bliss have ever played,
and it has been their choice between Chalet and Villa. I mean, the fact that Chalet was left in so late, that seems to be a map Chiefs are quite confident on. Vars, are we surprised that it wasn't banned out earlier from Bliss?
I actually kind of thought this was going to go to Chalet. Bliss, I don't know. Against Rhythm, they looked like they were quite comfortable on the map. They knew what they were doing. They had a few really good ideas. I really liked their kind of fast entry and, not being afraid to take map control. Villa, they have a bit of info on the Chiefs on Villa. I haven't really seen Bliss play Villa in a while, so I don't really know what to expect from them, but what my understanding here is maybe that's the reason they, decided Villa is Chiefs don't really have much info on them, so whereas they have a bit of info from Chiefs when Chiefs versus Knights, so I think that maybe is the thought process there.
Yeah. So it's funny because these two teams obviously have played each other so much, both regular season, but also in the BO5 final from stage 2. And Villa was actually the decider map that ended up not getting played there. So we haven't seen these teams go head-to-head on it. Bliss have never played Villa. In fact, it is their most banned map, tied with Clubhouse. So this is going to be turning a new leaf for Bliss. We've heard them say before that they're looking to expand their map pool and take that next step. And, proving ground is right here against Chiefs.
That it is. Vars, before we get into this one, final thoughts and predictions.
No surprise, I do predict Chiefs to win.
Oh,
Although I do think Bliss might be the favourites here because it is a BO1. I obviously I don't know what their prep's been like, but there is opportunity there for them to kind of watch Chiefs a bit in APAC South. And I think, BO1's kind of favours them. I don't think Bliss actually have to change anything dramatic coming to this game. I think they just need to emphasize kind of the importance of kind of quick entry. We saw Wildcard the other night, Milo, his quick entry off really good drones. It shut down Worthy heaps. Worthy really struggled to get into that game, and I think maybe, you know, Bliss might take the same approach. For Chiefs, I don't really think they have to change much.
Okay.
I'm sure that the boys have already discussed what went wrong last night. They've already kind of talked about some possible changes.
Yeah.
I don't think they will really change too much coming into this because they have that experience beating Bliss in the BO5. They kind of got a feel for it. They kind of will already know a bit of a game plan in the back of their minds.
No, that's fair enough. Well, unless I'm going crazy, I'm pretty sure Bliss have never beaten Chiefs in 2021 and potentially at all ever. So this might be the time that they buck the trend. And once again, Vast, thank you very much for joining us on the desk. Let's get into this one, Dev. It's sure to be the game of the day and what could be the game of the stage 2.
Absolutely, a rematch of the Stage 2 Grand Final, Bliss versus Chiefs. Could not be more excited to see these two teams go head-to-head once again. Bliss hot on Chiefs' heels and ready for revenge. They smell the blood in the water after Chiefs' horrific loss last night to Wildcard in APAC South. This is Bliss's chance.
Certainly is. And of course, let me very quickly preface, I kind of forgot to preface, obviously Bliss have beaten Chiefs in a map, just not in an entire series.
And it was Cafe, like it's their best map. You know,
yeah, so we expect
Chiefs'
them to do
most
well.
banned map.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I preface that because, you know, sometimes I say things and people go, okay.
I don't think anyone, no one, like everyone just assumes what you're saying is wrong anyway.
Oh, no, but my name's not Xenox, so I don't think it's innately, like, just flat out wrong. I think people think there may be some substance to it, but they just want me to shut up. Whereas Xenox, we just know it's wrong. Like, opens his mouth wrong. We just know. Ban phase has been that of an interesting one. Mute and Clash have been banned out on the defense, Dev. Any thoughts?
Well, so Bliss is one of the very few teams globally that just religiously bans this mute. They absolutely love it. Believe it or not, it is one of their favorite bans. They've done a whole bunch. In fact, they banned it in 3 of the 4 maps that these two teams played in that grand final previously. When I've asked in the past, and I mean, they won't reveal everything, but they just say that they like droning. They really like their drones not being impeded. So we'll see Worthy play on the Mozzie to try and prevent that lack of intel denial. Oh my god, there were so many negatives in that sentence. Got a bit caught up. But yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty common one for Bliss. The Lion also, I mean, Chiefs love their Lion. They're really good at isolating roamers with it, so that's a good pick from Bliss. Clash ban from Chiefs. I personally have never seen Bliss play this map because they haven't played it in any officials in this year. And I haven't seen them play a ton of Clash. Like, they played a little bit on Chalet. They tried like a top library stairs hold on the bar defense with Clash. Wasn't that good though, honestly. I guess Chiefs just don't want to play it, so fair enough. Maybe there's nothing else in particular they did want to ban. This does leave a lot of ops in, you know, a lot of big hitters. With Thatcher gone, still got your Flores, your Jackal, which we've seen both of these teams love in the past. We've also got the Mira for defense as well. The Valkyrie in as well.
HP Omen community vote has Chiefs up at 70% for the win. I don't blame anyone considering the track record of these two teams playing against each other. One thing right now that I do love to see is Shade on the Twitch. Might actually get to, this is going to be nice and quick. This is going to be really quick because it's actually down to the kitchen. They are going to force a side here. Chiefs, are they ready for it? You bet your bottom dollar at the very least. Worthy's going to open the occasion with Repix finding a trade back now. Shade just needs to be so cautious. He is isolated completely. Kit's down. Todd finds another kill, making matters worse. Chiefs are crumbling. It's God Legion as Vigil to try and hold, but God, what a call from Bliss.
This rush has just been perfect. Big order for him, and it's not going to happen. Bliss come out of the gates firing on all cylinders. What a rush.
Fantastic work. That looked like they had such a good read on what they wanted to do then. They did not hold back even for a second. That's a site that you, I mean, very rarely see picked as a first choice. Chiefs dive into it, hoping potentially it might catch Bliss unawares, and, well, how the turntables. It's all Bliss. Just 5 heading this. And now, this could really set the tone. I really have enjoyed that.
Yeah, certainly does make things quite interesting here. Bliss, I mean, we already prefaced that this is not a map that they have played before. We also know that Bliss have been actively trying to improve their map pool. It was highlighted as the primary weakness of why they lost the grand final. Bliss are known as a BO1 team. They beat every single other team in OCN Stage 2 except the Chiefs in the BO1 phase. Then coming into that grand final, it was a BO5. And Bliss found the one map before Chiefs ran through them on the rest of them.
5 seconds left.
Bliss, how clearly already it's paying off, right? Working on widening their map pool. They already played Chalet last week. They beat Rufflecott, or rather Rhythm. And they are now playing Villa, both maps that they'd never played. So I'm loving seeing this. Like it's clearly like it's the next evolution in Bliss is leveling up their map pool. And if they could take a win against Chiefs, I mean that would be just something else.
Map pool could be quite the depth for Bliss. I mean, it could be the difference maker, right? It could be. We've said it through and through, and now that we're seeing just so many different opportunities for them to take teams to different maps, we are seeing what could potentially be a Titan dropping team, right? Bliss are making their presence known in OCN. And I can tell you what, they are preparing for what is to come at the end of this year. APAC South relegations and promotions have just been announced, and Bliss is gunning so damn hard for that.
Good vertical angles for Todd downstairs. Repix is the hammer to the anvil. Reinforcing off that wall for Ethan, but Bliss are not slowing down, not one bit, my God! The vertical is so good. And now Chiefs just have 2 players left to hold.
Oh, what a clinic. Absolutely clinical from Bliss so far, and Chiefs backs up against the wall. What can they do but just be received with a hellfire? Bliss, the day of reckoning is here.
Wowee, flawless. Chiefs are certainly on the back foot. They've bitten off more than they can chew, gotten more than they bargained for. Not the Chiefs that we've seen in the past. This could be the first time Bliss ever beats Chiefs.
It's coming. It is coming, I'm telling you right now. It is on the verge of happening. And I don't think one person that watches OCN religiously would even remotely question that. Not even close to it.
There is no doubt that this is definitely the match of the day, Rob.
Match of the day it is, my friend. And match of the day has been claimed. Dev, would you like to let the wonderful viewers at home know what they've won in Rainbow Six ANZ?
Absolutely. If you go to twitch.tv/Rainbow6ANZ, you can participate in the giveaway for today's match of the day. Tune in. Make sure you type in the keyword in chat. It is rematch. And you will be in the giveaway to win a $50 MWay voucher.
Baller. Thank you very much. I'll take that any day of the week. And Dev, would you mind telling the viewers if this will be repeating week after week?
I don't know if I can say anything, honestly, at this rate. Every week, match of the day. Make sure you're following R6 Esports OCE. You'll see the Twitter posts and be ready to witness our matches of the day. At this rate, though, Rob, I don't know if Bliss is going to make this not rather the match of the day, but their match of the day.
They certainly will. You can only get this kind of speed with a Samsung NVMe SSD. That's for sure. There is no other way.
M-Wave.
With that $50 redo voucher, there is no possible way that you can get any faster reactions, any... Like, I just don't understand how they're able to do these things. Only, what, 1 kill on the board for Chiefs? That's so crazy.
Roam below for God Legion. Oh, what an angle. Digital shut down. God's going to feel the pressure.
Breach charge set.
Been droned out now. The breaching charge will go off. Bliss are on the hunt.
That they are. And they can certainly get a whiff of what's coming. So too Chiefs trying to hold on for dear life at the moment. They've been taken on an absolute ride and not the good kind, I'll tell you that much. Bliss are bit by bit just showing us what they're made of. Only 3 drones left for them. 2 out on the field, 1 in the pocket. Plus, of course, whatever Shade's got left. But it could mean that if Chiefs are able to hold on for long enough, information may be little, and Bliss may just get punished. Okay, that's how you do things. Fair enough. Oh my god! What?
Bomb located by attackers.
What?
Repix just walks up the main stairs and finds 2 kills. Worthy, low HP, but still alive. Droned out. God Legion. So eager to peek this. The C4 could be detrimental. Oh, God Legion's got to land the shot. He does not. The suppressor for Jigsaw gets the job done. It's all on Worthy. 1 on 4, 1 on 3, and nothing. Bliss, 3 rounds in a row.
And not only is it 3 rounds in a row, but it's 3 of the more convincing rounds we've seen. That is absolutely terrifying. Again, let me just preface. Team Bliss have never won in a series against the Chiefs. I mean, when you put that into context and you start to understand the weight of this match, it is quite significant, mate. It is significant.
Chiefs, we're going to need every single bit of motivation they can get, every single tiny last bit of diesel in the tank. They got a trophy stat.
He's not playing anymore.
Oh, mate, I knew you were going to make that joke. I shouldn't have said anything.
You're getting him confused, mate. It's Ethan on the roster.
Yeah, different retired wildcard OG, hey? Man, it's just unbelievable. Chiefs, they came out of the gate swinging in OCN. They, stage 2 looked to be theirs. You know, they took down Wildcard, they took down Knights, both very convincing scorelines, a 7-3, a 7-1. Even in Apex South, their opening day, they took down Elevate, 7-3. And then last night on Bank, they lost to Wildcards, 7-4. Really abysmal game from Chiefs. And tonight, they're 0-3 down against Bliss. The tactical timeout comes out for the Chiefs. They're going to need it.
Absolutely crazy to think that that is attack timeout in the 3rd round for Chiefs. Keeping in mind, you only get 1 for an entire match. Overt, just for example, used theirs in the 13th round after they'd just lost to Order, and Order was on map point in overtime.
That helped them get the win.
Yeah,
well.
Essentially, that for all intents and purposes was what got them over the edge. That extra minute, that ability to talk about it. Chiefs have taken that in the 4th round, headed into the 4th round. And you know what? You can't blame them. You can't blame them.
At 0-3, you need to. What can you possibly talk about right now to get back on that horse? Bliss just looks so well rehearsed on this map. You can see the hard work pays off for them. A roam downstairs for Chiefs, some rotate holes, some information. This is the first time we're seeing Stat and Trophy. Bliss have just been so efficient at their roam clear, at their vertical play, finding opening picks. All been for them.
Bomb located by attackers.
Moving forward, big question remains, is it impactful? God Legion 0-3, Fisho 0-3, Digital, Ethan following in the same suit. One kill between 5 of the best players in OCN after 3 full rounds. What? Yeah.
Pretty astonishing. Chiefs have this roam downstairs, Digital and Worthy. Jigsaw is in a good position to start and push on through. Unfortunately, he does disconnect.
Rip.
F in the
Absolute
chat.
rip. There is an F in the chat because, I mean, I have absolutely no clue what happens, but I do know this. That would really put quite a large hindrance on them moving forward in this.
Oh! Thought Repic saw God there. He can surely just execute. No, backs on off. Gas canister was so well timed from Fisho. Oda wants to make a breach on this wall, but he's worried about the vertical angle. Digital still below, and since Jigsaw DC'd, Bliss don't really feel comfortable going for this. Oh my god, Oda, what a play! He just walks through the Aruni gate, and that's Astro control now.
Hello? What is going on?
My god.
Like dominoes, they fall one by one. What is going on?
What a play from Oda, though. He just swings straight on in and does some serious damage. He goes straight through the Aruni gate instead of burning it first, just walks through it, taking the damage. My god, this is now a technical timeout as we get Jigsaw back into the lobby, but Chiefs will certainly be doing everything they can to try and discuss this. Of course, being a technical timeout, they can't speak with their coach. They're going to have to speak with each other and figure out what on earth is going wrong.
Oh my god. This is a crime scene, Dev. We're witnessing the police pull out yellow tape around what is happening. The Chiefs are just being absolutely murdered in the server. There is there's not even a question that can be asked at this point. 1 kill, 4 rounds.
Just unreal. I mean, that means it's 3 flawless rounds so far, right? Like, it's just... that round wouldn't technically be flawless because Jigsaw disconnected, but I think that you can certainly count it as flawless. Just insane is what it is, honestly. Like, don't know what to say.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is for us, Dev, is we can only speculate as to what is going on right now, but this is absolutely mental. I really am shook. I am quite shook as to what we've seen over the last 10 minutes, 15 minutes, it feels, including tactical and technical timeouts.
You haven't seen Chiefs in a position like this ever. Well, since they've risen to power, have we seen them down such a significant deficit? Even their loss to Wildcard last night didn't seem to sting this hard.
Have we ever seen Chiefs, ever, down this bad?
I'm hard-pressed to see any team in OCN lose 3 flawless rounds in their first 4, only with 1 kill on the board. And this is quite far through the first half of the game as well. Vast is telling us in chat, they look quite flat, and it's kind of unbelievable. Like, how do you describe this? Vast is saying, like, Bliss aren't really doing anything crazy to counter Chiefs. Chiefs just look like they're barely in the server. I mean, Oda, cool, calm, and collected. This is just another game.
I'm never going to hear the end of this from Spruce, am I? Spruce is meant to be the problem, not the bloody solution. He's meant to be the problem. Wow, this is just... We've seen Bliss in some pretty crazy form. We've seen them do some outright dangerous stuff before, but this is on another level, and I am just left bewildered. I guess they're making their claim for stage 3. And what's crazy, Dev, is this is a Bliss that is playing so many different maps. This is a Bliss that is testing their limits and really debunking a lot of the myths that we had around, you know, their map pool. Like, what's it going to look like when it comes playoffs? Well, we're about to see what their actual playoffs run could potentially look like if they continue this kind of form heading into the rest of these playdays, because every map we've seen them play is not something that we would necessarily think of as a comfort pick for them, especially Villa of all things.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a map that they have banned 9 times. They never played Chalet, they never played Villa, they hardly ever played Clubhouse. They tried not to after they started losing it. And Bank isn't something we've seen from them either. So in the off-season, these guys have been hard at work. They've clearly added Chalet and Villa to their map pool. That is no mean feat. Like, that is hours and hours of strat making, dry running, scrimming to make this map ready for a comp game. Not to mention, still obviously improving on their old maps, because they weren't uncontested on those either. You know, they lost Clubhouse and Oregon, which are maps that they've seen pretty good results to. They've lost both of those to Chiefs in the past, as well as Coastline. Yep. Like, they need to make sure that they're keeping pace on their existing map pool while adding these new ones in. It's just a testament to the work ethic of this team.
Bliss for APAC South. The hashtag started.
I mean, it is certainly looking likely at this point.
Yep.
There are so many Oceanic teams who have a target on their back. Order, Wildcard. And Bliss is certainly hot on their heels.
And they've proven time and time again throughout stage 1, 2, and now 3 that there is no doubting that they deserve to be up there. And then I guess we'll see how impactful having to play 2 leagues at once becomes for them in 2022. But I am just so impressed. I cannot express the smile that this brings me watching a team like Bliss that just has continued to go from strength to strength, do what they're doing right now.
So well-rounded as well. It's not like one player is going and raking up every entry and carrying this team through. It really isn't. This is very well-rounded, and you look at the scoreboard on the Bliss side, right? Like, everyone is getting engagements. Everyone's winning their engagements. Shade is the only one on the team who's died. And he's even got a plant to his name as well. Like, my God. Bliss just... I guess the only consolation here for Chiefs is with that technical pause as Jigsaw reconnected to the server, Chiefs essentially got a bit of a free tactical timeout. Now, they wouldn't have been able to talk to their coach, but they would have been able to talk to each other. Now they've made some changes compared to their last kitchen dining defense, and they're looking to hopefully dig deep.
I mean, could you imagine Bliss come back into this and do the exact same thing? That would have to be Chiefs in the bin for this game. I could not imagine a world in which Bliss do that after the break. And it, oh God, I mean, I'm only speculating, right? I'm only and ifs and buts, but
Shade's just getting so much info with that Florist run all the way from outside. He destroys the cabinet. It's a bit of cover defenders would like to hide behind, and now can no longer. I like the 6-pick from the Twitch onto the Flores for Shade as well. A lot of info you can actually get with Flores drones. Most people just think of it as util clearing, but really good information gathering as well. Now Bliss setting up very well. They've got a breach on Laundry. They've got a lot of map control, starting to really take upstairs as well and get some vertical notions going. Ethan just did not shoot that drone for quite a long time. This is looking to be very similar to the way that Bliss attacked this last time.
Oda peeking down there kind of gives you the inkling that they don't have the intel yet, because there is no one from Chiefs, from what I'm aware, underneath in the basement. So they're just being so extra cautious with everything. It's just showing the two different approaches that we're going to be able to see from Bliss moving forward. Jigsaw just poking and prodding in and around the site. Todd could absolutely rip this head off right now. Worthy's going to have to be careful, but Fisho guy, that's a huge pick to start things off. Repix goes down, and now they're looking much better. Worthy, that's what we needed to see from the Chiefs, and Bliss have had no response thus far.
3 untraded kills. Oda finally finds one of his own, but it's just him and Jigsaw. A good breach, though, for Oda on the pantry wall. Jigsaw could go large here, flanking from the other side. Still vertical control for Chiefs upstairs in Master. Worthy making sure of that, but Jigsaw silent but deadly. The suppressed C7E takes down Digital, makes this one step closer to being an even Steven.
Not going to say I believe just yet, but something in the air tonight. Team Bliss taking every opportunity. Look at this positioning from Jigsaw. What could he find more than just one? Can he find more than one? Ethan's now being given the information as he steps through the alibi hologram, and it's all onto Oda, who's on site. Finds at least one, makes this a little more believable. In the position, does have the kit in hand, so he'll be able to stick it, but with 5 seconds, it will surely allow Worthy to get into position, which it does. Chiefs bounce back, even though that still looked a little bit shaky toward the end.
Definitely was closer than it needed to be. A 5v2 down to a 2v2. Good effort from Bliss. Once again, they can be very satisfied with how they're tracking at the moment. Though Chiefs finally have that second win they'd have needed. Their tactical pause did not net them around, but the technical pause did. And now, onto the final round of Chiefs' defense half, they need to be salvaging a 4-2. They can't let this slip to a 5-1.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Even at this point, you ask the question, is it possible? Could they achieve a 4-2 comeback? I guess it depends how successful they are in this round here. Because if Chiefs do bring this back and this final round is all but convincing and impressive, then yeah, sure, conversation completely shifts. But waiting to see what happens, only they will be putting some attention into ensuring that Bliss are doing their due diligence on these
10
roams
seconds to go.
and forcing bit by bit.
5 seconds to go. Attackers are
Look at our
moving out to
producer
locate
in
the bomb.
chat.
Yeah, I just was about to remark on that. Our producer has a fun fact saying it's 100% headshots in round 5. There you go. Thank you, Brendan. We love
It's
Brendan.
the producer Xenox fun fact of the night. Even when
Most
Xenox isn't
definitely
here.
Not Xenox.
Hey, mate, do you know how many fun facts I got on Saturday night working with him? It
Attackers
was,
have located a bomb.
Were they
all
really
fun
fun,
facts.
or were they just
No.
facts?
they were literally not. Some of them weren't even facts. In fact, I'm pretty sure he said that you know, I can't even remember. He made a remark and it was just completely wrong. So they're not
I mean,
even
that's
fun
pretty
facts.
commonplace for him.
We love you, Xenox.
Oh my god, look at how low Worthy's been taken. Very, very low HP. Even the Twitch drone zap could finish him off there. Be extra cautious of that. Tracking info from Jigsaw. That's the Valk spotted of Digital. Do wonder why Jigsaw runs the suppressor. I mean, C7E doesn't have the hardest recoil, so perhaps he just wants to have the element of surprise there.
Never know, it could cause some chaos. And in the midst of it, thrives. I would dare say he does thrive on chaos. Jeez. They get a minute 30 to hold on to this. A lot of utility to still be used here. God, I feel like we just are not seeing Ace at all anymore. I'm so grateful I just heard Selma charges. That's it.
I don't know. I guess depends on the map, depends on the site, depends on how it's being used. But here, certainly going to help open up these long lines of sight. Repix needs some support to clear out this catching utility, the Aruni gates and any potential ADSs before he can go forth and destroy that deployable shield. Oh, aggression from Digital. Shut down by Repix. Now, Bliss have the man advantage. Repix, oh my god, hit the floor. This is a really good position for Bliss to storm on through.
Storm they may well just do. Jigsaw just over peaks in the slightest, and Ethan punishes Oda. Next up on the chopping block, Chef Ethan is going to town. I don't know what Shade just did then, what information or sound cue he just had, but 20 seconds left for the half here, and Chiefs need to stand up.
But Bliss on the back foot. Chiefs hold on, 15 seconds. Repix has to go big. Todd finds one. And Repix as well, traded on back. It's all on Todd in the 1 versus 2. And Fisho Guy is there to greet him. The Chiefs, after 4 rounds against them, they get 2 back and end the half just behind.
What a fantastic half that was from Bliss. Hey, Dev.
You're just trying to throw me on the bus because I'm eating my biscuit, aren't you?
Protect your bombs from being defused
You
by
knew I was eating my biscuit. You just wanted me to talk so that I would talk with my mouth full of food. That's not very nice.
Oh, we're gonna have fun. You know, it's the little things on broadcast. But no,
Cranberry and pumpkin seed biscuits are the goat. There you go. You heard it here first, folks.
It's literally like just breaking sticks next to a microphone. Like, I don't know what
Tastes
you
good,
thought
mate.
about.
I mean, I actually haven't been outside today for exercise, so munching on those biscuits is the most exercise I've had all day.
That's right. It just sounds stock standard for Guz. So
5 seconds before insertion.
Guz is like, what's wrong with that?
Attackers objective is to locate
Anyway,
a bomb and defuse it.
Bliss have given a small opening to Chiefs, and I mean, it's kind of by their own hand, you know. They've that small technical timeout that they had to take, I believe it was for Jigsaw, who fell out in the 4th round, has netted Chiefs that opportunity to calm themselves, recompose, and bring into the second half a 4-2 scoreline, which was looking really dire there for a while, you know. By the 4th round, it was literally only 1 kill on the board. By the 5th round, sorry, going into the 5th round, it was 1 kill on the board for the Chiefs. And they have certainly turned things around. Does give us more hope for them here for this second half.
Oh my God, Todd. Todd and God. Downstairs. God gets Todd. Goodbye, Todd.
I don't know why, I got a good giggle out of that one. That was good. Shade deals with the veteran himself. God Legion might be next up on the chopping block. Jigsaw's just waiting for the information, the sound cue, but God Legion kind of feels like there's something not right about this situation. Falls back and opts to drone ahead, and in doing so, bada bim, bada boom. How's the information there?
Good stuff there from God. A lot of players wouldn't check that corner. You saw the way he just flickered the wrist, made the drone look behind him. It would be detrimental had he not. Repix, full flash, red stairs. I don't think anyone's cutting him off at the bottom of the stairs though, so he could escape. Been redroned now, and he's really put under the pump. Surely he doesn't get one here. Oh, Worthy, no, the timing, mate. You can't look away from the angle. You will be punished. And Chiefs start to fall apart. Digital just doesn't land the shot he needs to.
Attackers recovered the bomb.
Bliss have a strong opening on their defense, looking to lock in this round. 4v2 for them. Chiefs have to recuperate.
Oh, it was looking so good. It's crumbled in their hands. Still got an opportunity. They are going to have to take it with both hands. Whether they do so or not, that's the big question. Digital pushing back down Classical. Got to be careful of that peek. Double-edged sword now. It's a peek from Repix. He could find both kills here. Tries to line them up. God Legion is given a small whim behind the smoke. But no more. Jigsaw puts a stop. And that is just, again, a response from Bliss that we had hoped for.
For Chiefs to win this match in regulation, they would have to win every single round from here on out, marching to victory 5 in a row. Bliss have made this game their own. They look in their element. They are taking the fight to the Stage 2 champions. And looking for revenge, Bliss are so ready.
Chiefs are really getting pushed to their limits at the moment. And
Attackers need to
it's the
locate
kind
and
of
defuse bomb.
performance that really makes you wonder what is to come for this roster. Bliss, I'm talking about the Chiefs, just to be perfectly clear there. Let's move on and go down into the kitchen. Instead of heading to the trophy and statuary site, I'm going to opt to show Chiefs how it's done from the get-go. Very much always enjoy seeing the effect of the pulse on this map.
Oh, on this site as well, Pulse and Valkyrie for information. You've got 4 C4s, everyone but Repix has one. And
5 seconds
often
to go.
this bomb site comes down to the attackers try and take control of upstairs, master and stat, and you open up the floor, you expose these positions down on the bomb site. But the problem is, right, with all that information gathering, plus those 4 C4s, Bliss just have so much to fight that vertical game, and with Ethan going onto the Finker instead of the Flores, it just means that Chiefs are relying entirely on Digital for vertical play. I feel like a Flores or a Sledge would have helped out here, but I mean, it does depend. If they really need to focus their util on just hitting side or clearing out these hard off-site presences, then fair enough. But for now, it actually looks like Chiefs might have an idea here up the pantry stairs.
A little more direct. Have to imagine that Todd's doing his due diligence, making sure that no one's in pantry itself. That kind of information certainly going to start to ring the alarm bells for Bliss. Setting up now. Ethan's got a very long line that he'd be able to look like straight onto the middle of sight, which can be utterly devastating if any of the defenders try to rotate, but they've still got a fair bit of that vertical presence. 2 players, in fact, as Todd sitting there with all of the information he could ever wish for.
Looks like Bliss have started to fall off some of their setup. They don't have anyone in stat. Todd doesn't manage to take down that drone. Suppressor on a Rooney. Repix is definitely going for headshots. I think that gun does about 17 damage once you put a suppressor on it, and even less at range, so you definitely want to be landing your headshots there. Todd's giving all kinds of information. Will we see a C4 kill? Reload! As the vertical play still hasn't really been enabled here by Chiefs.
Todd, full knowledge of what's happening right now. That's a very ambitious C4 and one that's not going to be in the pocket for later on. And speaking of later on, Shade will have no impact in that matter. 2 C4s, Oda and Jigsaw still left to play here, but Chiefs are not really looking to take that vertical control at all.
Oh, and here's the entry from Pantry. God Legion from China. This is so good. There's just no need for vertical game when you can push in from the lateral side
Defender has been
Now,
discovered.
Todd, his position exposed. Repix has got to come back to site, but Chiefs have got this in the bag. Digital puts it to bed. Chiefs, what an excellent round. By far the best we've seen from them this match.
Guess that's the ability of just nullifying the use for that vertical play. If you can put the pressure on horizontally, laterally, becomes a little bit too much to handle. You lose too many players on site. Your anchors can't do enough. Chiefs would be very happy with the outcome there. And honestly, I just look back, considering the start that we had here, Chiefs are making this look a hell of a lot closer than what it was. And I'll say one thing, if Xenox was casting right now, he'd be losing his mind. Living library? What? Never seen that? What is this?
I mean, I'm about to lose my mind, mate. Like, you know how I was hyping up Bliss, saying that Villa and Chalet weren't in their map pool, and already in the offseason they'd added those two maps while still retaining their existing map pool. Add to that, they're also learning off meta sites. Like, that is some serious determination. I have the utmost respect for the amount of goddamn work this team puts in. Like, oh, it is not easy to come up with and practice a viable living library strat, and they've done so. I know Todd is often the mastermind behind this kind of thing, but I wonder whether
10 seconds to
having
go.
Spruce on as well has really helped out.
No.
Just,
5 seconds to insertion.
I mean, it's another person to help out come up with these ideas. When I was chatting to O the other day, he mentioned that he was coming off the back of a session that the team was doing with their sports psychologist. You know, we talked about the effects of Michelle, sports psych for Chiefs, and Bliss are also bringing on board one as well. Like, this is just, they're taking their gameplay to the next level, and it's paying off.
Oh, look, there's no doubt in my mind. You know, I take the mick out of Spruce just because it's fun. It's fun. It really is. I have the utmost respect for that gentleman. And I have absolutely no doubt that what he brings to this team can't really be quantified in any interview or conversation. I think that what Bliss are showing us in Stage 3 exceeds our expectations of what we even had in Stage 2. At the end of Stage 2, when they started really skyrocketing with their performances, this is just incredible. You know, it's a completely different ball game when they start playing the best teams in OCE on maps that they don't always play or don't play at all. So there is nothing but the full props that are deserved to this team and how much effort they are putting in, and it's showing in a server. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to close things out. And right now, Chiefs are certainly starting to bring somewhat of a comeback here. And you said they're going to have to take, what was it, back 5 rounds in a row? I still just don't. It doesn't for a second make me think that that's an issue for Chiefs.
Hard to imagine it would happen, honestly. Like, yeah, maybe viable, but Fish gone down. That's a very early pick. Where was Shade? Was that wasn't from a vertical angle? Surely not. A huge pick nonetheless. That's your hard breach gone. Oh, it was through the open wall. That defuse is going to be very awkward to try and pick up. Chiefs have some really strong positions. That's a great pick from God Legion. Todd goes down. Potentially piano control could be followed up with it for Chiefs. The worst part here is that diffuser is in such an awkward spot to pick up.
Yeah. Repix now taking an absolute belting.
Oh,
He's down. Oh, this is gorgeous from the Chiefs. They're showing exactly how you approach this side if you ever do need to try and take someone to living. And they're still just progressing with such haste. Look at this. God Legion's in. Ethan finds another, and that is it. My goodness, Chiefs. Look at that game on our hands, folks.
we certainly do. What a round from God Legion. That was a 4K on the Yana. The team played around it so well. He found the opening, droned out by one of his teammates, I believe. Second pick where Digital opened up the software with the skeleton key as God Legion peaked. It's just so good. And then God knows exactly when he needs to drive deep into that site and follow up for the kills. Excellent work from the Chiefs. Suddenly that scoreboard's not looking so crazy, Rob.
Nope. Nope, it's nowhere near as grim as what it was, that's for sure. And it was more the context of what it was looking like. honestly, this is the kind of team that when they start to get on that roll, when they start to get moving, they are incredibly dangerous. The traction that they can build, again, highlighting a player like God Legion. The ever so consistent God Legion. I cannot recall a bad game that this man has had. Like, not, you know, it's not on the back of one single player. But when you put the context in that there was 1 kill on 5 players in the first 4 rounds for Chiefs, and now you blink and God Legion's double digits, surpassing anyone on Team Bliss. I don't know, there's something about it, man. Very impressive, to say the least.
He's a nutty player, really is. And surely this has turned around the Chiefs' mental. That's definitely the thing that I would be most concerned with, being down 3 flawless rounds in the first 4 rounds of the match. It's just, how do you bounce back from that? Chiefs, we know that they've worked a lot with Michelle. I mentioned it already. Their support staff who helps with the psychological aspect of things. But they look like they're just back in business as usual. Digital's down below for the vertical game. We've already had Flores clearing out some of these top main positions. Yeah. Digital could do some serious damage here as well, opening up the floor from underneath these defenders. And I mean, there's a serious chance here we end up in a position where Chiefs could well and truly fight for the triple points here.
Chiefs were certainly putting the pressure on very early there. You know, Bliss were barely finishing up their setup before those Rotero drones were starting to deal with those deployable shields, and perfectly timed. You know, just bit by bit taking that classical hallway, sorry. Choke on my own words there, but Repix, the ever dangerous Repix. Position, oh, I love that. Worthy's going to back it up as well. That's ground control. That's massive. That's so well played from the Chiefs.
Yeah, lovely use of that Rotero, followed up by Worthy to take that map control. I don't know why Dig isn't actually using the skeleton key there to get a better angle. Great usage of the lifeline to clear out that shield. Now Chiefs are hot and ready to take this. Opening up the floor now at bar is Digital, doing his best to try and put some extra pressure. Fisho guy as well. The more angles you open up, the harder it is to play in these power positions. The harder it's going to be for Bliss to stay alive.
And Digital's making things very uncomfortable. There is no doubt about it. But Jigsaw, nice big kill to take. Oda opts not to use his impacts to try and get rid of those ex-Kairos. So there's a line now open that's going to make things a little bit uncomfortable. That was a little bit uncomfortable itself. God Legion once again starting to open things up for the Chiefs, and Digital backs it up as well. Bliss, only 3 players left. This is getting very... Oh, God. How big's that peak from Shade?
Shut down now. 4v2 for the Chiefs. Jigsaw and Todd, the last left. Fisher guy sees the cross once again. That's a good save for! And Todd comes to life as well. It's all Jigsaw. 1v1 to Digital. He's got to clutch up right now, but Jigsaw, the young gunner, he wins it for Bliss. That's match points.
God, he is sharp. He is so goddamn sharp. Just watch that replay again and again. That will live rent-free in my head for some time. Chiefs, 2 versus 4. Jigsaw picks up 3 of them, and 2 of them in a 1v2. Just so damn sharp, straight from landing, across into the site as he's rotating from bar. God. Bliss.
It's insane, isn't it? What we're seeing from Bliss.
3 points are on the table now for Bliss. They may well break this curse after 3 stages, Dev.
Yeah, if I'm to list off every single time these teams have played each other, right? We've got the grand final, which went 3-1 to Chiefs. We've got stage 2, which went 7-4 to Chiefs. And then back in stage 1, when Chiefs were under the Elevate banner, it was an overtime win for Chiefs. 8-6 on Oregon. Bliss have never beaten Chiefs in a series. The only map win they've ever had was in map 1 of the grand final of stage 2. That was on Cafe, a completely different set of home turf for Bliss. Now we're here on a map that we've seen Chiefs play many times before. They 7-1 the Knights just last Playday of OCN. Bliss have never played this map in an official, and this is what they're managing to pull off.
All right. They are just one round away. That's all it's going to take. And the way that they've approached this so far is looking pretty damn positive. Bit of an operator change up as well. Maestro, Oryx, Doc. Things have significantly changed on this kitchen site for Bliss. I quite like it.
Yeah, definitely. Aggressive setup. Curious to see no Thunderbird instead of the Doc does come through. Some people just feel really comfortable. I mean, Doc was always known as a kind of a bit of a fragging operator back with the MP5 when it had that ACOG back in the day. Now it's just got the 1.5, but still, I've seen a lot of those players still love it. And Repix is certainly one. He's now hit double digits. Him and Jigsaw both, alongside God Legion, who's been the heavy hitter for Chiefs this game, really come into his own. But it's a team game. You got to step up as a team, win as a team, lose as a team. The vertical play, though, this could be really great now. Chiefs, looks like they've got the map control that they want. Didge can start getting to work on the floor.
Different approach from what we saw the last time. Todd, what kind of information can he pass on to the C4s? One on site, the other bit further back. Digital can't really find anything just yet, but Fisher guy starting to make some room. That was way too close for comfort there.
Still no C4's been able to enable for Bliss. Todd has his, but very difficult to get the info while deploying the C4. Shade's on for a flank, though. This could be huge. Does have the ability to jump up hatches elsewhere, but for now, he's on the red stairs. As Chiefs continue to get to work, God Legion could be the player to catch off Shade, who goes back down into the basement. But who knows which way this goes? There's still a lot of horizontal map control here for... Oh my god, this gunfight could be pivotal! Oda wins it. Ethan goes down and Chiefs, they get the refrag, but back once again.
Seriously, you can't take your eyes off the screen right now, because if you do, you will miss a hell of a lot. Shade, he's been dropped. Pushed off by God Legion as well. Confirm the kill. 15 seconds left. It's got to be go time right now. Jigsaw still has somewhat of a crossfire. He's not going to be able to deny the plan. Yes, he can. Swings out of the... Oh, no! How does Fisho win that? Digital, he has to hold the vertical right now. Can he find the player? No! Repic sneaks by and sneaks the 3 points. Oh, what is that from Bliss? What a performance on Villa.
Vengeance has arrived. A dish best served cold. Bliss up.
Curse is broken, my friend. That is all there is to it, Dev. That is all there is to it.
Match of the day comes to a close with quite a significant victory. I mean, what was that from Bliss? Especially the opener. 3 flawless rounds, only 1 kill in the first floor rounds for Chiefs. But what was that, man? Like, what was that game? I'm absolutely gobsmacked.
I'm as lost for words as you guys are. Like, I don't really know how to analyze this game. It's just Bliss kind of stuck to their game plan, played their own game. Bliss didn't really do much, actually, as you mentioned before, didn't really do much to actually counter Chiefs. They seemed like they were just playing together and playing to their strengths. And Chiefs just could not get their heads in the game today.
Those first 4 rounds, I mean, have you seen anything like that? Have you honestly seen anything like that? You know, Chiefs, the kings of OCN, back-to-back champions, dismantled, absolutely taken to town by not just one member on Team Bliss. You know, generally we look to like Jigsaw and Repix to just go absolutely mental. The first 4 rounds was every single player putting in the kill department. And, you know, Vasti, I'm sure you'll sit there and go, oh, it's not about the kills, mate. But, you know, I'm pretty impressed with that, I'll be honest. So, it's overall, I mean, there were some pretty close rounds in the end. You know, the last one, 2v2, that 2v1 there. So this very much could have been either a Chiefs win or us going to overtime, Dev.
Yeah, look, I don't know how to touch on this game, man. I'm pretty much lost for words. That was just so insane from Bliss, and it does make you wonder, right? Like, Chiefs, I think, played really well in their attack half, honestly. Just not well enough to catch up with the 4-2 deficit they'd had on their defense. Add to that the fact that Bliss clearly were running that wave, running with that momentum that really just boosted them up, elevated them to the next level, and a 7-4 is, I mean, that's not a particularly close scoreline. That's a decisive victory for Bliss.
It is. Vast. What are your takeaways here, mate?
My takeaways, yeah, I think just losing 4 rounds in a row, ultimately, I think lost them the game. They had some really good attacks, like Dev said. With Chiefs, I would expect maybe losing the first 2 rounds, just kind of to get a feel for their opponents, and kind of after that, then I would expect them to kind of bring it back and get into the game. But losing 4 rounds in a row on Villa defenses, I don't know, no amount of, you know, strong mentals going to really come back from that game, especially with the way Bliss were playing as well. It was just, after that, it was always tough. It was a pretty good effort on their attacks. I really liked, especially God Legion. I don't know, he was really carrying Chiefs in the attacks. He was just making play after play, and it was starting to look kind of good. It's starting to look like maybe they might get back into it. But then that 2v4, we got to talk about that 2v4. That just was the icing on the cake. That 2v4, I kind of had a feeling it was over from there, to be honest. And I was kind of confused with the decision making there. You know, Jigsaw kind of got a nice C4, a nice time to C4, I should say. That kind of evened it out a bit. But I felt like Chiefs had all the map control there. They had all of bar clear. They had, you know, vault control. They should have been covering all the angles. I'm kind of confused why they didn't really go for a plant, and I'm sure there's a good reason. Definitely that Nitro, you know, would have helped, have been the main reason that prevented them from planting. But yeah, to be honest, I just think their heads just weren't in the game today at all.
Well, I'll tell you whose heads were in the game. That is Bliss. There's no doubt about it. Let's bring in Oda to have a chat a little bit more about what we have just witnessed. Oda, I'm going to be completely honest with you, mate. This is terrifying. You have taken Chiefs to a map that you guys do not play competitively, and the first 4 opening rounds, you spanked them. You caught them with their pants down. How is that even possible?
Look, all I'm saying is that whole game was all spruce. That game was all spruce. The prep he put into it, and like, it's like the little things he told us. Bro, it was all spruce. I'm not even lying. Nah, like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, Villa was actually one of our worst maps, and we've been like working hard on it, and I guess it's proved that like we've like gotten better at it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, that was honestly amazing. It's astonishing to see. You've said yourself, our priority right now is establishing a better map pool. You've gone and won a game on Chalet. You've gone and won a game on Villa. I'm sure it won't be too long before we see Bank. I won't get you to reveal any secrets just yet. But, mate, I want to know, like, clearly Bliss has been leveling up. You mentioned when I spoke to you last that Bliss has been working a little bit more with a sports psychologist. I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we work with him once a week, and he's just, like, focusing, like, on ourselves and our mental stuff. It's, like, you know, getting good sleep, just exercising. And there's like a little bit of meditation to clear the mind, so like you're calm and relaxed before games and like before prac and stuff. Just like stuff like that is what we've only done it for like a few weeks now, but like just starting to get into that.
Yeah, 100%. I guess I want to talk about kind of more of the long-term goals for Bliss. Obviously, your long-term goal is to make APAC South. We're coming close to the end of the year. where you guys potentially will be playing in that promotion, is the thought process between, you know, strengthening your map pool and maybe bringing the sports psych, you know, all these different ideas. Is it to kind of make sure you guys can be ready for Apex South?
Yeah, it's definitely like the Sports Psycho and the map pool getting bigger is definitely for like those best of threes for relos and stuff like that. And you know, we're gonna be playing against like ping as well, so just scrimming that, just being ready for like to come up against really is all we're working for at the moment.
So you said that this was all Spruce, but that kind of sounds like something that Spruce would say. Did he put you up to it, Oda?
Nah, legit, it was all Spruce
Nah,
before the
get
game.
off it.
Spruce joins the team speak and he's like, "Alright boys, this is what's happening tonight," and he got it. He got all of it, legit.
Jeez.
Nah, I absolutely love it. I love it. Well, Oda, I'll give you the floor, mate. You guys are absolutely having an unbelievable 2021. Please, whatever you wish to say to the fans, the people at home that may be the doubters, go ahead.
Shout out to the fans in the chat. Shout out to Bliss. And just want to say I finally got one over Digital. I finally got a win over him. It's my first time.
There it
I'm
is.
gonna give it to him, mate. I'm gonna give it to him.
You have to. You have to. He's been talking his mouth for a year. You got to let him have it now.
Gotta give it to him.
That's fantastic, Oda. All right, mate. Thank you very much for joining us here, and we wish you all the best in your match tomorrow.
Cheers, boys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Get off it. No, you won't. No, you won't. You're coming up against a vert. You won't see us tomorrow, lad. But know what? Well, just this statement is absolutely ridiculous from Bliss here, Dev. I, as a fan of just ANZ Siege, could be prouder of what they've been doing the past two stages, specifically what they're showing us now.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's an amazing journey that they've had, and it's also astonishing that they've managed to do it with so much young talent on that team. Like, yeah, you've got some OGs in there. You've got your Todd and your Shade, who have been around since the start. You know, Spruce had a couple of Pro League seasons under his belt back in the day as well. Yeah. But it's the young gunners that we really like light up the scoreboard, right? Like, obviously you've got to credit the brains behind the operation, but when Jigsaw can make plays like that, when Repix can make entries like that, and Oda himself, you know, he's been around for a little while now, but I think relative to some of the OGs we've got, he's still a relatively new addition, especially to this top level of Oceanic Siege. It's amazing to see the life that they've brought to the game and the challenge that they've put to these teams that have been pretty happy to sit at the top for a little while, like Chiefs, who have made 2021 their own. I think that Bliss is on track for another really cracker Stage 3.
Well, all I'm going to say is the Chiefs, they're in the bin. They've disappointed me. You've disappointed your family, Chiefs, but that's okay because Bliss are showing incredible signs. We're going to go to a short break, but on the other side, OCN continues.
Attackers will cover the bomb defusers. 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left.
At Livin, we are breaking the stigma of mental health. Everything we do is about empowering people to speak up, because it ain't weak to speak. Join us on the 14th of October as we host our first ever Giving Day, called Giving for Living. Over a 12-hour period, all donations will be matched through the generosity of our matching donors. This means that $20 transforms to $40, which can provide 2 conversations with a school-aged child about mental health. $100 transforms to $200, which can provide 10 conversations with a school-aged child about mental health, and so on. Donate and follow the campaign at livin.org/giving. Help us have more conversations with the youth of Australia so we can continue to break the stigma of mental health.